Welcome to the Marathon Training Series on the Mike White Podcast, where myself and Clark Blunt meet about every month and go over our training progress for a marathon in 2023. Hope y'all enjoy. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Marathon Training Series on the Mike White Podcast. Today we're going to recap the month of June. So it's been since May 31st. Our last episode was released. That's a lot of training days put in June, and we'll see how it went, what we think about it, what we're doing moving forward for my marathon in December. And I got Clark Blunt on the line, also training for a marathon. How's it going, Clark?
Hey, MJ, it's going well.
Do you know what marathon you're running yet? Because I know the big ones were full, and you're still kind of trying to decide which one you wanted to run.
No, I haven't really decided just yet. I'll probably just look at what would qualify me if I ran a fast enough time to get me into Boston. I probably won't do anything too big. Just something around.
And I forgot I didn't see. I know for sure my Dallas marathon in December is too late in the year to qualify for like the next Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the year after.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do as well?
That's what'll end up happening, but yeah.
Yeah. So how's your running going? Because you were just starting to get back into it after taking some time off to get to heal up. This is like your first full month of training, right? For a while.
Yeah. It's been going well. Work has been really tough. So there's been a couple of days where I worked a lot of hours, and so I had to miss a couple long runs just because I was pretty tired. One thing that's really been catching up to me is if I do not eat enough food, I will be completely shot for the next day. So it's something that I've been trying to stay on top of, and I never thought that was going to be. You run into it in college, but there they kind of give you your meals. But running into it now it's kind of exhausting, especially if you run into the next day, you got work, you got to go through that entire day, and then afterwards you got your run. So it's been tough. It's something that you kind of have to be aware of and meal prep for each Sunday.
Yeah. What do you do for meal prep wise?
I have just been making, been making a ton of rice. So I've got a pressure cooker and a rice cooker. And so I make a ton of rice, and then I kind of alternate. Sometimes I'll do chicken breast. I'll do pork chops, or I'll either do that, or recently I did a big steak, but
Yeah.
I try to vary that up, just get myself something, and then I try to get some vegetables in there as well. I've been slamming some olives here recently, and so that was kind of fun.
Oh, like doing what? Just eating a ton of olives?
Just eating plain olives, black olives, green olives. I'm on like an olive kick right now.
I love olives. Yeah, that pressure cooker is a game changer. It's so convenient, and it's just so easy. It's crazy. I heard Instant Pot is going out of business or something like that. They're bankrupt, but their product, maybe it's just so good that you just need one and no one buys anything after that. I don't know, but
from what I heard they expanded a little too fast, went into too many markets all at once, and they already had kind of a fantastic product. So kind of a bummer. I'm sure if they went under, somebody would be right there to take their place.
Yeah, that product's not going away anytime soon. But the other thing you said there too is where if you do have those busy days at work where you don't get your run in, that is key to not get down, not get down on yourself. Think of yourself as like, I screwed this up, and you can't recover from it. That's your body. Your body's telling you need rest. And if you're not getting the sleep, you're going to hurt yourself. So that's another important part of training. I would recommend, if you don't have the time for the full run or something like that, to even someone out there just get 10, 15 minutes of stretching in. Just do something that is beneficial to your training, so that you can say to yourself, like, hey, yeah, I didn't lose my streak, or I didn't quit. And it's just mentally, I think, healthy. And then also it's going to make you better in your training.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Well, a lot of the times I'll get in my own head and say, like, especially if I miss one of the easier runs, if I just miss like a easy 4 mile run, I'll say in my head, I can just make it up later, but that really isn't what I should be doing, or what I can be doing. So really what I can do is, if I can, I'll try and supplement it in some other way. Right. So maybe getting a couple squats in, or, getting my stretching in, but really not compromising any of the other runs. So those runs that we make out are intended to do something very specific. So you really can't make up a run, but you can supplement it, especially like you've talked about this in the past with biking, or doing your pull-ups and push-ups. You can supplement it like that, but you never want to try and make it up.
Awesome. That also reminds me of another topic I wanted to cover. I wanted your thoughts on this. My dad, so he started, do you remember like the 22 push-up challenge for veteran suicides that was going around social media a few years back? So he decided to do that, and then he just kept going. So he did the 22 days and then just kept doing it every day. And he recently just passed 1,000 days straight of doing 22 push-ups. So I was wondering if you think that's crazy or good, or if there's a point where that becomes too much.
I've also seen on social media you do the same, so I obviously think pretty highly of it, right? No, I think that's great. I think having a routine like that is fantastic.
Yeah, I failed at it. I was tracking it, and then I think one day when I was not at home off my normal routine, and I forgot to do them. So I think the key is, if to do that thing too, is just knock them out right when I get up, because I'm gonna restart. That's what I was saying. So if you want to do it as well, we can add that to the training regimen.
Okay, sure.
But all right. And talking about biking, I'm tired of biking. My knee. All right. So I biked all this month because my knee was jacked up, and now it's getting a lot better. But it was really weird how it got worse since the last time we talked, and I was still resting it. And what I think happened is there something of like, if you get a lack of blood flow to your muscles, that it makes them inflamed? Is that a thing?
That is something that I've never heard of, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
It was wild. So like, I was resting my knee, but I drove up to Nashville to watch the Alt Health Summit that the Meat Mafia guys put on, just like a day of all these panels and podcast like interviews on different topics. And so I didn't get a hotel. I didn't fly. I did like the 12+ hour drive in my Tesla. And so it makes it even longer because I got to stop and charge. And, travel tip there. I just went into Planet Fitness, or like whatever gym I could find, and used that to shower and stuff, because I didn't want to be all nasty. And then I got my workout in as well. So anytime you're traveling, that's a really good thing. I don't have a membership or anything. I just dropped in and did like each gym had a different day pass fee. One was like $5, one was $10, but it was like well worth it, and didn't have to get a hotel. But since I didn't get a hotel, I slept in my car. And it was on the way back. I was sleeping at a gas station. I get up to get out of my car. Both my feet hit the ground, and I just collapse. Like I can't feel my legs at all. They were just so, what do you call it? They were asleep from, I guess the way I was sleeping wasn't giving enough blood flow for them. And then after that, my knee got significantly worse. So I was like, oh man, this thing's never going to heal. But so I had to think, I don't think the way I fell hurt my knee, because I don't know, I just felt like I would faint. But I think the blood flow and just sitting that long somehow inflamed it more.
Oh, that could absolutely be the case. The only way that your muscles are going to heal is if you're getting that blood flow. So if they're falling asleep, obviously they're not healing. So it could be lactic acid that's building up in there. But I've never heard of. I wouldn't imagine it's the inflammation that caused it.
Yeah, it was wild. All I know is if my knee finally feels pretty good, so I'm going to start running again. So we'll see how this goes. And no more stationary bike. It's just so boring and staying inside. I'm looking forward to being out in the heat, because that's a whole different challenge. How's it been running in the heat?
It's been really muggy and humid out here, so that's been pretty tough. But you kind of acclimate to it.
Yeah, and you run in the morning, right?
Oh yeah, I run. I have to run. I try to do my runs before I go to work. Otherwise, I'm just beat afterwards.
Yeah, you're not getting the sun. Is the sun even up, or are you still getting it?
Yeah, I've been running. The sun's been coming up earlier. I think it was kind of a drag whenever I was running over the winter, because I was running in the dark, and then I get home in the dark. So now at least I'm running in the sunlight.
Yeah, there's something about it. Just I don't know what, but it's nice seeing the sun, being out there with the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's also just easier because you can see your footing, and I just think it's nicer to run where you can see where you're going.
Oh yeah, not having to wear a headlamp or something like that. Were you wearing a
Yeah.
headlamp?
Nope, I was just kind of going for it. In the city, you kind of have your lights, but sometimes it just gets really dark.
Yeah, yeah. Watch your step.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, last topic I got on my list is I'm getting rid of my car these next 2 years while I go to school, and I'm gonna use just the bus system, and I'm getting a bike, but I'm getting an electric bike. And this thing, so it's an electric bike, but you can also turn off the motor. So if I want to use it for like training wise or a supplement, I can use that as well. So I think this is going to help the training, because I think any more movement is better, but I don't know how much of a help it will be.
Let's see here. Yeah, I think it's good. I biked around campus in college, and I remember thinking I needed to go as fast and as hard as I could when I was on the bike, and I think that did nothing but helped me out. So I enjoyed something like that. The one thing you just have to be aware of, especially whenever you're training, is you don't want it to cut into your next exercise, right? So if your focus is your next workout, then it should be kind of saving your energy to do what you need to do for that workout. But if it is to be a supplement, then I think that's a great additional exercise to have, especially if that's your mean of transportation and that's what you have to do to get to your next location. So I think that's a great opportunity. I think you got it. I mean, that's a free chance to exercise if you didn't get that run in.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know, is Baltimore bikeable, or would you ever consider getting rid of your car?
Maybe not where I work. I think I'd have to go through just too much of the city.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I know, probably making you jealous. Not really, but it's going to be fun.
It does sound like fun.
All right, Clark. Anything else? Any words of wisdom for this next month coming up? We're ramping it up a little more.
I think this next month is going to be rough. that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, finally getting these long runs in, the
That's right.
hour plus, lots of them, 2 days.
2 days, you're coming in.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a great month. Looking forward to seeing where we're at here coming up. We still got plenty of time, but it definitely does not feel like it did at the beginning of the year. It feels like it's getting more and more of a time crunch, but just taking it one day at a time.
That's right.
All right, Clark. See ya. Thank you for listening to the Mike White Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mike White Pod and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all have a great day.